A prison director who ordered a strip search of more than 200 Auckland prisoners says the two inmates taking the case to court were not identified as having contraband. Arthur Taylor and Philip John Smith are in court alleging a Department of Corrections strip search was illegally carried out after some inmates attacked staff at the prison in Paremoremo. Laura Tupou has been at the High Court in Auckland and is seated beside me in the studio now. Welcome, Laura. How did this case come about?
So on the 19th of October in 2016, two prison staff were attacked by four maximum security inmates. Today in court they showed CCTV footage of that time. So what happened was there was an inmate standing at the grill. He asked for a mop and a bucket. Two prison staff walked over to give it to him. As they opened the grill to pass over the mop and the bucket, three other prisoners jumped out and the four of them attacked those two prison staff. So within minutes, more staff came along, as you can imagine. More staff came streaming in, and there was one of the prison staff members was taken to the ground. Two prisoners were separated and held down by officers, and another one went out of view. The prison director, Tom Sherlock, was on the stand today and was cross-examined by Taylor and Smith, who a lot of people will know, and they're representing themselves at the High Court today. Mr. Sherlock said the downed officer was unconscious. He was taken to hospital with stab wounds to his head. He said the inmates had shanks which were believed to be created out of the metal from their prison-issued televisions, and they'd also been drinking homebrew, and he said he thought it was an organised attack. The day after the incident, Mr. Sherlock instructed that there would be a strip search of 209 prisoners, and that's what the issue is here. So Taylor and Smith...
The day after, 209, right.
Yep, Taylor and Smith argue it contravened the Bill of Rights, saying they weren't treated with humanity and their privacy wasn't respected, and it also contravened the Corrections Act, and they didn't have reasonable grounds for believing all 209 prisoners had unauthorised items.
Okay, so that's what Smith and Taylor say. What does the prison director say, or what reason has been offered?
So Mr. Sherlock said those four inmates who were involved in the attack were in a gang, or are in a gang, and that they would have influence over other prisoners in those areas. So that was the reasoning. Mr. Sherlock was questioned heavily by Taylor and Smith on the stand today, and he was questioned whether he had information from intelligence about whether other people did have contraband, and he said no, but intelligence officers who were on duty at the time believed there was reason to search as well.
Okay, gosh, this must be fascinating to sit on. What's happening now, and what do Smith and Taylor want?
So Smith and Taylor are seeking monetary compensation with a minimum of $600 per prisoner. What's happening now is another prisoner was in court today, questioned about going through the strip search and how he felt about that. There was also a prison officer who was in charge at the time who was questioned today, and the hearing will continue tomorrow.
Laura Tupou, who was in court today, thank you very much.